تعجل بالقرآن من قبل أن يقضى إليك وحيه وقل رب زدني علما.
The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, من أشراط الساعة أن يرفع العلم ويثبت الجهل. From the signs of the hour is that knowledge is raised away, knowledge is taken away, and ignorance is maintained. Knowledge is stripped away and ignorance is maintained. That is from the signs of the hour that are mentioned, and that is a hadith in Al-Bukhari and Muslim. يرفع العلم ويثبت الجهل. From the signs of the hour that knowledge is stripped away and ignorance is maintained. And this is something well known from other narrations too, about the death of the scholars and the loss of knowledge bit by bit. It mentions in one of the narrations, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَقْبِضُ الْعِلْمَ انْتِزَاعًا يَنْتَزِعُهُ مِنْ صُدُورِ النَّاسِ وَإِنَّمَا يَقْبَضُ الْعِلْمَ بِقَبْضِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not remove knowledge by taking it away from the chests of people. Knowledge is not removed by removing it out of the chests of the people so that you forget it and become ignorant after you were knowledgeable. Not like that. Knowledge is taken away through the death of the scholars. That Allah takes the scholars they pass away one after the other. The scholars begin to die. And so if the scholars die, who is left? The ignorant ones. And so it mentions, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَقْبِضُ الْعِلْمَ انْتِزَاعًا يَنْتَزِعُهُ مِنْ صُدُورِ النَّاسِ. Allah does not take away knowledge by stripping it from the chests of man, but rather يَقْبِضُ الْعِلْمَ بِقَبْضِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. Allah takes that knowledge by taking the scholars. The scholars, the people of great knowledge, those who have studied their lifetimes and they have learnt the various aspects of the religion, and they are experts in those areas of the religion, in hadith, in fiqh, in aqidah, in seerah, in all of the different aspects of the religion. They have detailed knowledge, and they are the warathatul anbiya, those who inherit from the prophets, because the hadith tells us that the prophets لم يورثوا درهما ولا دينارا وإنما ورثوا العلم. That they did not leave behind gold and silver, rather they left behind knowledge. So whomsoever takes that knowledge has taken a good share for himself, has taken something to benefit himself with. That is the scholars who inherit that knowledge, the warathatul anbiya. That is what we are told. Knowledge is taken away by the death of the scholars. يَقْبِضُ الْعِلْمِ بِقَبْضِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. And that is exactly what you see. The death of the scholars occurs, and in these times in particular, over the last few years, over the last 5 or 10 years, how many of our great senior major scholars have passed away? A Sheikh زيد المدخلي رحمه الله تعالى, الشيخ الحيدان رحمه الله تعالى, الشيخ before them in the decade and two that passed, major scholars like Sheikh bin Baz, Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen, Sheikh Al-Albani, Sheikh Muqbil. All of those four died within a couple of years of each other, 1999, 2000, 2001 and thereabouts. And other major scholars over the last decade or two, Sheikh Ahmed al-Najmi, rahimahullah ta'ala. Senior scholars have passed away, major scholars have passed away, and even those whom are alive now, some of those scholars from the major scholars are elderly now. Shaykh Rabi' bin Hadi al-Madkhali, hafidhahullah ta'ala, in his 90s. Shaykh Abdul Muhsin al-Abbad, hafidhahullah ta'ala, even older, in his 90s, or rather younger, in his 90s. And also Shaykh Al-Fawzan, hafidhahullah ta'ala, in his late 80s. Many of the scholars, they are old in age. Shaykh Ali Nasir Al-Faqihi, in his 90s. The senior and major scholars, they are in their older age now too. Those passed away before, in the last decade or two, and perhaps if Allah gives us life, we may end up seeing more of the major scholars passing away in the next few years, in the next decade or two. And that's why it is so important to cling on to the scholars, to return back to them with our affairs, to return back to them in seeking knowledge and understanding of our religion before they pass away, to benefit from them while the opportunity exists, to return back to them and learn from them whilst that opportunity exists, before they are taken and that knowledge is taken with them. This is of the greatest of importance, and we need to understand who the scholars are. They are not these Western personalities on YouTube, celebrities on YouTube, making all types of entertainment videos on YouTube and all the other social media platforms these days. These are not scholars. Most of them, if not nearly all of them, have probably never studied a single book with one of the scholars. And now they come onto YouTube, Sheikh and Allama and Mufti and this and that, and they promote themselves as Islamic speakers and gain their followings and make their videos entertaining and comedy, and they call themselves the sheikhs of the religion, and they are putting on entertainment shows and selling tickets. That is not the sheikh, the scholars that we are talking about. The scholars, the ulama we are talking about are the likes of a Sheikh Abdul Muhsin al-Abbad, the likes of a Sheikh Rabi', the likes of a Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan, the likes of those others now too, who are teaching in Medina, in other places, as Sheikh Abdullah al-Bukhari, hafidhahullah ta'ala, as Sheikh Abdullah al-Dhafiri, hafidhahullah ta'ala. These are from the people of knowledge, and it is upon us to honor and respect the people of knowledge, not to be like the Ikhwanis and the misguided ones who mock and belittle and speak against the scholars, and they say the scholars are scholars for dollars and all types of mockery and criticism that they make. Rather, it is upon us to honor the scholars, to respect the scholars, and that is taught in the books of hadith of old, from the adab of the talibul ilm, from the etiquettes of the student of knowledge, how you behave with the scholars, how you behave with the people of knowledge. So here it mentions one of the signs of the hour is that knowledge is raised up and ignorance becomes prevalent and is maintained. Just like at the end of the other hadith it mentions, when the scholars they pass away, then the people take the ignorant ones as their leaders. They take the ignorant ones as their leaders, and those ignorant ones, they misguide themselves and they misguide their followers. They misguide the others. So cling on to the people of knowledge and benefit from them and return to them whilst the opportunity exists from the senior scholars and from all of the other people of knowledge that are available.